Good evening and thanks for joining us. Many people thought this was Houston's year.
But it wasn't meant to be. The Astros lost Game 4 of the division series in San Diego tonight. And that's our big story. We have live team coverage of the end of Houston's pitch to the pennant tonight. News to Houston's Ed Lascos is live in Southwest Houston with fans' reaction to tonight's game. But we begin with Steve Mark in San Diego. So disappointing, Steve.
Absolutely, and a lot of people here in San Diego, at least from Houston, are shaking their heads on what happened in this series. It was just a total frustration in the three losses. The Astros couldn't come up with anything offensively. Randy Johnson didn't make too many mistakes. Jim Leyritz hit a home run. There were errors in the game, and meanwhile, Astro hitters held to only 3 hits on the night. The Padres get 4 runs in the 8th. Clutch jobs off Astros relief pitching, but still by then, the Astros not effective offensively, and the Astros season as of right now is over. And here's Astros pitcher Brad Ausmus. You must still be in disbelief over the way this has panned out this week.
Well, you know, we got beat. They just outpitched us, outfielded us, and out-hit us. We didn't do anything well. We scored the most runs in the National League through the course of the regular season, and we could only muster, in 3 of the games, we mustered 1 run. So you can't expect to win doing that. And they did a good job. We were in all the games, but we could never seem to get that run to beat them.
You hit the nail right on the head with the 3 runs.
Yeah, they're unique in the sense that they have a couple of power right-handed pitchers that can shut down a right-handed lineup, which we are. But even Sterling Hitchcock today did an excellent job for him. You know, he only gave up 1 run, I think, and you know what can we say? They outplayed us.
Well, time for reflection. The offseason starts now. Brad, thanks for joining us.
All right, thank you.
Brad Ausmus, Astros catcher, and as mentioned, the Astros offseason begins right now. We'll have more coming up in Sports Sunday. We're live in San Diego. I'm Steve Mark.
All right, thank you, Steve. And our team coverage continues tonight back in the Bayou City. News to Houston Night Beat reporter Ed Lascos is live in Southwest Houston with some very disappointed fans. Ed?
They are disappointed, but you know, they cheered every pitch, and many of them said that's what it means to be an Astro fan. You stick with your team to the very end. Unfortunately, here the end came much too early before a Game 5, and a lot more than that.
There you go, get out, man! Johnson's going to take care of business. Here we go.
The Astros are the business. Big business on this night.
Astros all the way this year, baby. World Series.
TV after TV. Nearly everybody tuned to an Astro attack of pennant fever.
We're going to beat these guys. We're going to beat these guys. What I'm saying, we're going to beat these guys. Yeah, we always have a chance. You know, Astros fans, we never give up.
And then reality as the game and the dream of a pennant slips away.
That's right. There's no tomorrow. There's no tomorrow.
And with that, Astro fans wave bye-bye to a series, a World Series. And back live now, the attention turns to football for all sports fans. Of course, Astro fan, you got the hat on. You were cheering all night long, Mike. I mean, where do you go from now? Where from here?
Well, you know, the Stros had a great season. I mean, 102 wins. I mean, Killer Bees played really good. We wait for next year, man. You know, there's always next year. Cross the fingers. We signed Randy Johnson, and we go from there.
Nobody's giving up.
Nobody's giving up. You know, we got football now, and let's go for it.
Okay, Mike. Good luck.
Thanks.
Good season. All right, and we're live. Southwest Houston. I'm Ed Lascos.
Thank you, Ed. And be sure to stay with us for Sports Sunday at 10:22. Craig Roberts and Steve Mark will have highlights and more reaction to tonight's game.
Well, if you were not in a sports bar and you were outside at all today, you probably ran into some rain. Harris County was under flood warnings for much of the late afternoon and early evenings. In most of the area, showers were scattered. Sometimes you could even see the sun through the clouds. But the southeast part of town saw some minor street flooding. And rain may have contributed to a major pileup on the Katy Freeway near Wirt Road this afternoon. Police say 1 car lost control and at least 20 others got caught up in the chain reaction. Several people were injured, at least 1 critically. But most people were just left to add up the damage to their cars. At least part of the freeway was closed for the evening, but tonight it is open to drivers. And for the latest on this stormy weather, let's check in with News to Houston's Carl Parker in the AccuWeather Storm Center. Carl?
All right, a lot of rain tonight, especially to the south of the city, and for that reason there is a flash flood warning in effect for Galveston County until 10:50 on Doppler 2000 right now. Heaviest rain still in Galveston County. This has been the target area right here. We're talking about as much as 5 to 7 inches of rain. Southern Chambers County, southeastern Harris County, and much of Galveston County. And I want to show you the radar review over the last several hours. Notice how the rain has continued to fall in this area for the last several hours, and that's why we're seeing the flooding down there. Entirely possible that streams and bayous are very near bank full, and you see some ponding on the roadways. The rain should taper off over the next few hours, but we're in for more rain over the next couple of days, and we'll tell you more about that coming up in weather.
The rain also created big problems for the downtown road race. And for about an hour this afternoon, the only action was rain. Just before the officials waved the checkered flag and said, "Gentlemen, start your engines," the sky opened up, dumping rain everywhere. Drivers had to sit tight until getting the go-ahead to start, but fans intended to enjoy the show, rain or shine.
I want them to get soaking wet as long as they're going to race. It's very exciting. It's a lot of fun. The cars are obviously a lot slower with the rain. Yeah. It's unfortunate, but we're having a good time out here.
In the end, Dario Franchitti of Scotland took home the big prize as close to 60,000 people watched him lead virtually the entire way. It was also a winning day for some downtown restaurant owners, too, as more than a few of those ticket holders raced to fill up their stomachs, and they're racing there. Cooks put the pedal to the metal to keep up with the demand. Waiters served up plenty of hot food, and cashiers took in all that money. It's a win-win situation that has owners talking about next year.
Definitely, I would be open. Anytime there's some activity going on in downtown Houston, whether it be the races or a festival, we open, and I would do it again, yeah.
The Grand Prix race will make its way to Houston every fall for the next 5 years.
Enron is offering a $25,000 reward to help find the suspect in the deadly ATM shooting. Blanco Gutierrez worked for the oil and gas company before she was killed during a robbery. It happened Friday night at an ATM machine on Belfort at Telephone Road in southeast Houston. If you have any information, please call the department's homicide division. The number's on your screen at 713-308-3600. A woman is found dead in northwest Houston this morning. Lisa Ann Holman's boyfriend discovered her body at her home on Central Crest near Antoine. She'd been stabbed and strangled. Police are now looking for two men she'd been seen with earlier in the evening.
New at 10 tonight, the mother of a murder victim is on a one-woman crusade to change the law. Her son's killer got probation for murder. Now she's asking the public to help change the system.
Murderers can walk the streets of Houston.
Carolyn Hardin is on a crusade to change the law. Last April, her son, Stephen Hardin, was doing his job towing away a vehicle when the car owner shot him to death. Barry Crawford, a Houston firefighter at the time, was convicted of the murder, but the jury only sentenced him to probation.
It was the jury, and I hope that they can go to bed at night and sleep knowing that they let a murderer walk the streets of Houston.
The only sliver of satisfaction for the Hardin family was a move by the trial judge. Judge Ted Poe added a 180-day jail sentence to the probation. But disappointment prevailed again. Crawford served only 17 days because he made an appeal bond which temporarily sets him free. He will stay out of jail until his case goes before an appeals board, which could take 1 to 3 years.
The system failed because the law allows murderers to be placed on probation, and that itself just doesn't make any rhyme or reason.
Now Carolyn Hardin and her family are trying to get the public to petition the state legislature to change the law. They want the law to prevent convicted murderers from getting probation and appeal bonds.
The law that will be changed will be in the memorial of my baby, and it will be called Stephen's Law.
The Hardin family is going to present their case during the next legislative session. News 2 Houston tried to reach Barry Crawford and his lawyer, but neither was available for comment.
Tropical Storm Francis created problems for people all over southeast Texas in September.
But relief is still rolling in for those flood victims. The latest on federal help coming up.
Flash flood warning in effect for Galveston County until 10:50. We'll check out Doppler 2000 coming up.
And the student who allegedly opened fire on a prayer circle at his school gets ready to face trial.
That story and much more when News 2 Houston Night Beat continues for Bel Air, Katy, and Hunters Creek.
News 2 Houston is everywhere. You're watching Susan Lennon, Pauline Chu, Carl Parker's AccuWeather, and Craig Roberts with sports on News 2 Houston Night Beat, where local news comes first.
Brazoria County victims of Tropical Storm Francis have a new place to turn for help. The Federal Emergency Management Agency is opening up a new relief center tomorrow morning. It's located at the Precinct No. 2 Commissioner Barn on County Road 171, and you can stop by between the hours of 9 a.m. and 7 p.m.
Four-legged victims of Hurricane George are also getting a helping hand here in Houston. Local SPCA disaster response teams brought more than 80 dogs and cats from the Gulfport, Mississippi area. The animals were waiting for adoptive homes in Mississippi shelters and now will be up for adoption here. And in Mobile, Alabama, life still hasn't gotten back to normal. Thousands of storm victims are still crowding into Red Cross service centers, hoping for food and hotel vouchers. Others still have their homes, but no power or water. Yesterday, the governor signed a relief package designed to speed up the recovery.
As we cover America, the House Judiciary Committee goes back to work tomorrow to debate whether to open impeachment proceedings against the president in the sex scandal. But today, committee chairman Henry Hyde says the Senate does not have the two-thirds majority needed to remove Mr. Clinton from office. He says lawmakers want to finish the inquiry by January, but some Democrats want it over by Thanksgiving.
In Miami, a toddler dies after being taken off life support. The little girl had been hospitalized in the September beating at the hands of her mother's boyfriend. The man allegedly beat the girl for 2 hours after she ate a package of sausages he was planning to eat. Police say the girl's mother stood by and watched. Both are expected to face murder charges.
Tomorrow is the first day of trial for a Kentucky teenager accused in last year's deadly schoolyard shooting. Prosecutors say Michael Carneal confessed to killing 3 classmates because he, quote, felt rejected by his peers. Last week, the 15-year-old tried to change his plea of not guilty to guilty but mentally ill. Prosecutors would not let him do it. Coming up in just a few minutes, a tale of two cities.
Both are in Kentucky battling it out in a very messy war. We'll explain why representatives of both cities are trying to make paste out of the other.
Surf News 2 Houston on the internet, www.kprc.com. We're tracking the weather with Doppler 2000 Precision Radar. From the AccuWeather Storm Center, here is Carl Parker.
We have had a lot of rain to the south and to the east of the city, and for that reason, a flash flood warning is in effect for Galveston County until 10:50. Let's take a look at Doppler 2000. They are still seeing the rain down there in Galveston County. The target area has been Galveston County, southeastern Harris County, and southern Chambers County. 5, 6, and even 7 inches of rain. It is entirely possible that you see high water in the streams and bayous and lots of ponding on the roadways. The good news is the rain